and I hope you all are doing well. I'd like to welcome you all to another episode of Know Your Alumni Season 2. Today we have with us Adarsh Soni, a graduate from NIFTEM. Adarsh has completed his BTech in 2017 from NIFTEM and is currently pursuing Master of Arts in Human Resource Management and Labor Relations from Tata Institute of Social Sciences. He is also interning as a fieldwork intern at Wipro. Hello sir, how are you?
Hi Pranjali, I'm doing well. I hope you're keeping well too.
Yes sir, I'm good.
Yeah.
Great sir. So, sir, please tell us how was your experience at NIFTEM and how has it helped you grow personally as well as professionally?
So my experience at NIFTEM it was really good. So I made some lifelong friends. There was a lot of learning, and also I think that I realized what I should not pursue in my life after those 4 years. So a lot of it, whatever I've achieved in my life and whatever I've not tried to pursue in my life was also something which I think I've learned from the college.
That is great, sir. So, sir, after completing your graduation in food technology from NIFTEM, why did you decide to pursue Masters of Arts in Human Resource Management and Labor Relations?
Yeah, so basically, after college, I worked for almost 11 months. Post that, I decided that I want to pursue my studies further in the field of management. So that's when I started giving examinations. So I wrote all the general exams like CAT, IFT, GMAT, etc. So I realized that there were certain courses which appealed to me. And initially, I did not know of this, but it was during those preparation times when I came to know about this college. And I liked the course. The professors, the work they did was very good. So I read some of those works online. And also, it has very good diversity. So there are more than 32 courses across fields of social sciences. So these things, they kind of appealed to me, and that's when I decided that I'll go for this.
That is great, sir. So, sir, how did you get into Tata Institute of Social Sciences? Like, what is the basic procedure to get into this institute?
Yes, so basically, you get into TIS. Uh, First of all, there are more than one campuses of TIS. So which campus you get into and which course you get into totally depends on two factors. One is your score in the written examination and based on your GD and personal interview. So that's score. And the second factor, which is a decisive factor, is what kind of preference do you keep. So if you have kept a preference of a subject, of a course, and of a campus, then you'll have to accordingly score high or low depending on how many people have put a preference for that. So first of all, the first level for getting into this Mumbai for HRM and LR is to write the common entrance exam for it. That is called the TESNET. It's a normal written exam. Uh, so it has the basic subjects of management like your data interpretation, logical reasoning, and verbal. And on top of that, you also have a GK, a subject for GK. After the first level, you have group discussions and personal interview, based on which, as I said, and your preferences, you get the course.
That was really insightful, sir. So, sir, can you tell us something more about your course and what all subjects does it include?
Okay, so basically, the MA course of HRM and LR at TIS Mumbai focuses on three things. So it's like an intersection of social sciences, your human resources, and labor relations. So across the 2 years, you tend to the main focus is to sort of build an understanding of how these three things interact and how, let's say, an HR who's going to work in the corporate world should have a knowledge of all these three things and how those three aspects uh, interact with their job. So not only does it focus on how the function of human resource management helps the business, but also what exactly is the human aspect of human resource management. So a lot of focus is given on sensitization of students. Equal focus is given on ensuring we have ample amount of experience. That's why we have field works. That's where I'm going right now. I'm also going for a field work. So you have a lot of internship experiences. You have a lot of studies. So there are too many courses. Just like other MBAs, you can expect a lot of assignments as well. But the major objective of these 2 years, as I said, would be to build an overall perspective about the whole field.
That was really elaborate, sir. Thank you. So, sir, tell us something more about your role as a fieldwork intern at Wipro, and what are the basic functions that you have to carry out?
Yeah, sure. So basically, at TIS, there is something called a field work, which happens every semester. So we are assigned a company, and the company has certain projects, live projects for the students. So how this works is that there are certain organizations which reach out to our campus for the students, and that's when basis the number of students and the number of companies, a sort of preference is decided, and based on the strengths of the students, the companies are then assigned to them, where we have a 1 month project in total. So in the first semester, I went to a startup. The second semester it was HPCL, and now I'm going to Wipro. So in all of these three fieldworks, I was assigned a project, and then again it's a part of your curriculum, fieldwork internship. So you have to perform, and then based on your performance, you're also scored. So that's how it goes. There is also the summer internship process, which is like common across all the MBA colleges. So that happens during our, during our holidays.
That is great, sir. I think it's a really good initiative by your institute. Sir, can you please give us some tips about how to get into TIS, and like what were the basic control points that you practiced during your preparation days?
Yes, sure. So basically, for tests, there is no separate preparation one requires, if provided one is preparing for, let's say, the MBA colleges in general. So as I said, the exam consists of your basic subjects like data interpretation, quants, and verbal, which you already cover in the other exams for CAT, right? Like which for CAT and GMAT, and I think there are others as well. For SIBM, I think some other exams are there. So basically, the whole concept is that that whole part is common, except the extra one subject of GK. So I won't be able to tell you how to prepare. However, I can tell you how I prepared. So for GK, I refer to a book. There's an yearbook which comes, and I also used to read the newspaper regularly. So at least once in 2 days, if not every day. So that I think is how one can keep in touch with whatever is happening. And for the GD and PI part, it's mostly how well you know your own CV. So that would cover everything you've done in your college days, or if you have any other experience after college. So you need to know that well. And if you know about the college you're applying for and the course you're applying for, usually at this, what I have observed is people try to see if you're interested in it, or are you just applying, let's say, for uh, the top surface level reasons like compensation, or let's say how those ROI, the return of investment, is low. So if those are the reasons, mostly people do not make it through the interviews. If there are other reasons which show that one is intrinsically motivated to go for the course, that's when I think you will make it through. For GDs, the rules are simple. If one is clear about their own points, they're not trying to, mostly for clearing GDs, I think it's about what you should not do rather than what you should do, because maintaining the hygiene factors can get you through. So I think that's enough for converting into tests. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. I'm sure it would be really helpful for the aspirants. So, sir, quickly wrapping up, what are the few generic advices that you would like to give to your juniors, the current Niptimites?
Yes, yes. So basically, Pranjali, I didn't have many the last time we had a call, right? So I wrote them down. Yeah, so I have 4 points for the juniors. So one is always ask why you're doing things, right? So I realized by the last 2 years of my BTech that you should always know why you are doing things. For example, if even if you are, studying some subjects in food tech, why are you studying those? Why are they important? Are they going to even apply for the future? If they are, then how are you going to use them? uh, why you applying for degrees after college? Let's say if you are interested in MS, why you applying for colleges? Is it because your friends are applying, or are you actually interested in those subjects? So a lot of these things are what I think people should get. They should get clarity on. And I think most of it comes from identifying what your interests or passions are.
Yes,
It'll
sir.
take time. I'm not saying that it's easy. I think the second most important factor is I wrote everything on my whiteboard actually. So second most important factor is yes, reach out to your alums and seniors. I think everyone is very helpful, and it's always beneficial to have a second point of view on things, especially if they have gone through the same thing. You don't want to reinvent the wheel, right? And the third would be, throw your alumni a very kick-ass reunion party. I think I think that is something which you guys can do. And the last point would be have fun, because these 4 years are not going to return back to you, and a lot of good relationships, be it friends or be it otherwise, are built there. You learn a lot from all of these things. You don't get to meet them that often after this, and you grow emotionally and professionally through these experiences. So these are the 4 things I want the juniors to keep in mind. That's all.
Really good advice, sir. Thank you, sir. It was great interacting with you. Thank you for
Yeah,
having this
like,
interview with us.
likewise. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for having me.
Thank you so much, sir.